Hey everybody, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing? This is WiP Weekend-ish, number 14. I think it's number 14. I'm pretty sure it is, but it may be 15. I think it's 14 though. So, we did not have a WiP Weekend last weekend because of me frantically trying to get my movie marquee blanket done. Which didn't quite happen, but I was still happy with the results. Check my last February update for that, or my March reveal if you want, or my March, the March reveal if you want, because I showed it off there. But if you haven't joined me for WiP Weekends, I'm very happy about this series because I'm not getting rid of, but I'm cleaning up some of the old WIPs that we all have laying around, right? Well, maybe not all of us. Some of you are probably much better at only having one project on the go, or maybe two, than I am. I have to start all the things. Like if I find something I want, I start all the things, right? So I have way too many WIPs. So I am letting you guys hold me accountable by showing off my progress after I pick one and just continually just going through and working on it. Some of them I have reevaluated along the way. Like there's a couple that you guys may never end up seeing. Well, you won't ever end up seeing, because a few of them, like I've picked up a project bag with them in, and I've just been like, I don't know what I was thinking, and I made the decision then and there. We've just gotten rid of them. And they may be stuff from like so long ago that I don't even remember what I was really doing, or, whatnot. So that's great. I've reclaimed some yarn that way. I've just reclaimed some space that way and storage bags that way. But the ones that you do see, you get to follow along with me and turn them into something wonderful. And often I ask for input and what you guys think that I should be doing with them. This particular one that I'm about to show you is a good example of that, because I probably wouldn't have been put on the path the way that I have gone if it wasn't for you guys when I asked for suggestions on what you thought I should do. So you guys are great. You know that already, though. I hope that you guys are wonderful and that I think very highly of your opinions. So yeah. A lot of them are blankets. There are some shawls that we'll be seeing coming up, but a lot of them are blankets, and this one is no exception. So what I had done, I have the extra skeins right here, living in this lovely bag. I had decided at one point to not to get rid of, but to use up this like autumn collection of colors that I had picked up of the older Impeccable yarn. So I had these different fall colors. Let me show you in here. Okay, these are the colors that I've had. We have, let's see, chocolate. Try to keep them in some kind of a tidy order. We have deep forest. We have, I think this is just gold. Yep, gold. And then we had burgundy and pumpkin. And to kind of, I would say tie them all together, but again, that's not quite true because it has most of the colors, although some of the, it has all the same colors, but all of the shades aren't exactly the same, and yet I liked mixing it in here with them. This is Falling Leaves, and it is like the variegated one of them all. Like, obviously, that brown is not the same. The orange is too bright. There's a green in there that is similar, but it's washed out next to a different green. I think the gold and the burgundy are pretty much the same, but I do like it in with the rest of them because I just do. And I had one of each of the solids and 3 of the falling leaves to try to just kind of make as many squares as I could. Now the squares that I made are from the Crochet Crowd. Well, it's a red heart pattern, I believe, but it's from the Crochet Crowd's tutorial. See, and I know this one's very busy. This is probably a bad one to show you. Let's show you this one. Show you the pumpkin one. This is the fabulous fall throw that I had started. However, in the last WiP weekend, which was another Crochet Crowd blanket, I had really discovered how much I just don't care for blankets with this big of openings, even if it was meant to be just like a duvet type of cover or an Afghan on the top of your bed type of cover. I just didn't love it at all. I don't know, care to make it, I guess. I don't know. I do like making it though, so that's not really the right way to put it, but I didn't, and this was something that I had planned to keep like for me, and every time I think of keeping something for me, I definitely don't think of like a decorative blanket, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, it's a bonus if it looks nice, but I definitely think warm, cozy. I'm that person that is going to be like set for like the cold fallout of a nuclear apocalypse because I'm going to have a million blankets to keep warm with, you know? So if I'm ever like in that Siberian like situation where there's just like freezing temperatures and I'm holed up somewhere, I'm going to have all the warmth ever because I'm going to have all these blankets. But not with this. Like, it may be warm, but not as warm as it would be filled in. So it may be pretty, but not really something that I realized I loved to make or loved the idea of having around. So I presented to you guys, because I had already made, at the time, I think I made at least one of each color. I had gone through and made one of each color, and then I had started going through and like I picked I think the red, like the burgundy ball, and I made 2 more maybe because that's how many the ball would make. And then I did so with the pumpkin, and I might have done so with the gold. So I was already a substantial amount of the way through, right? And I was like, it isn't that I just don't like making these, but I don't love the thought of having the blanket after the fact. So I was thinking I might frog the whole blanket, frog all the squares, and make something that I like better. And a lot of you suggested backing it either with some solid squares of the same color or with some fabric at the end of the day, which the fabric is a lovely idea, but I am not a sewer. One little tiny iota of a bit. I am so not a sewer that I even cringe at the thought of crocheting it together. Like, I just don't want to do that. Like, that's not a Heather project, really. I don't know. It did not appeal to me. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, I'm trying to use up my yarns. I'm trying to make this like squishy and cozy and wonderful. And I'm trying to keep it like a fall, fall project, right? Fall looking. And this is the way it had looked so far. Like, you get the idea. There were all these like fallish looking colors. Somewhere in here, I think, is another falling leaves color that's hidden amongst them. Or maybe, oh yeah, I took it out. I forgot, because that's not the one I wanted to show you since it was so busy. But the falling leaves, see, it's not the same colors, but I really do like it in with the pack. So I ended up making a bunch more, obviously, once I decided what I was doing. And from my collection, I had 2 of these Karen 1-pounders in this deep, beautiful purple color, which is called Deep Violet. And now I'm messing it up. I had this lovely cave going on that is so satisfying. Do you guys ever notice that, like, when it's working up from the middle and there's just like a deep hollow and you don't want to move it? That's me a lot, but yet I did move it so I could work on some other projects after I showed this off. Now I'm probably going to end up having to wind it into a ball or something, so I'm gonna have like a tangled mess. I already know it. But I had 2 of these, and I thought if I make a solid granny square and back it with those, I could do it that way. And purple should set off those colors nicely. So I set about doing that, which mathematically was, I don't want to say problematic. It's not like it was super hard, but it wasn't your basic just add 2 to each corner kind of a deal. There was a couple rows where I had to add only 1 to a corner to make it come out right, because it still has to be so big, but it still had to be a certain amount of stitches wide, right? And here is how the square ended up looking, which just your normal square. But then I had this bright idea. So you guys gave me this great idea. I ended up picking this color because I thought it would go also festively, fallishly good with all of the colors. I had this great idea. Well, I thought it was a great idea. Don't mean to sound full of myself, but to crochet it right onto each square. And lo and behold, let me show you again, holding up like say this square and this one. I feel like if I were to just sew these together, and even in his video, Mikey says he steam blocked these before he sewed them together. I think he said before. It would make sense, before. So he blocked these beforehand, and there's obviously a notable size difference. But having this big square with like, Caron 1-pounder is a pretty thick and sturdy yarn to begin with. And I believe even though row-wise it worked out and stitch-wise it worked out, and I used the same size hook, so that all worked out, it was just a hair bigger, just a hair, hardly by any. But were these blocked ahead of time, it probably would have been the same size, right? This square basically blocked this for me. Like, it's nice and taut, and it's not curly or too loose or anything like to where I feel the need to like pin it down and that sort of thing. Like there's the tiniest bit of a curl. Like you can actually tell where I had started. This is where you do the start of a row, and it is a bit of an odd start. When you follow the pattern, you'll see what I mean, or if you've done it before, you probably know what I mean right here, because you have to slip stitch all the way up one of the rows. But yeah, it basically blocks it out, so you don't have to. And you still have a nice taut square, like I said, and it makes it like uber squishy because it's double layered. And I think it goes really, really, really nice, right? I don't know if you agree or not, but I think it goes really pretty. And the last time I had both of these done, I really, really, really like it. I will end up doing, once I get all the squares done and backed, I'm going to also join it in purple. And that's the other great thing about picking this particular purple, because I have worked with some other Caron 1-pounders recently, actually in my last WiP Weekend project. And one of the colors is, if it's not discontinued, it's at least not at my local store anymore. So it would be harder to get my hands on. But this violet color, not only do I think I got it at my local Meijer store, but it's definitely still there. Like the last time I was there, in fact, I checked for it, and it is definitely still there. So like, yes, I want to use all of my collection stuff, but if I need more, I at least don't have to worry about it. It's there. So yay. So I have these two, and then I have been working on other stuff this week, but I got done a burgundy one, a yellow one, or gold one, sorry, and then one of the falling leaves ones, which I feel like the purple with this light might almost look brown, at least from my angle. I don't know what it looks like from you guys' angle until I like watch through the video. Like I see the purple here, but this almost looks brownish to me against the colors. It is all the purple. See, the back is purple. That looks right. But held in real life to me, this purple just looks like beautiful and amazing against this bright, almost fall camo design, you know. This is definitely my favorite square, even though it's super busy. I really, really, really like it. I'm glad that I decided to put it in, and I don't really care if it matches it. I really like it. I would not have been heartbroken if all of the squares had looked like this and it had been one big blanket. But I do like, that being said, I do like the other squares. I'm not saying they're ugly or anything, but I do really like this. I'm glad it's added in, even if it's only like a few of them, because the smaller skeins, because they're smaller, they only make 2. So, and for the squares that the blanket calls for, I believe I worked it out and I would have had, with the solid colors, I would have had just enough to make exactly that amount of squares. So really these additionally make additional squares. So I may end up with like an extra row, or I may end up making a few less solid colors from the next set of skeins, whatever, balls of yarn. I'm not really sure yet. I still have to do the brown of the first ball of yarn and then make those decisions. But I know I'm definitely joining it in the purple. And yeah, I don't know for sure yet. But, and also I have to remember that it appeared to be the Crochet Crowd one was a fairly sizable throw blanket. And that one was just sewn together. The continuous join, while it's obviously my favorite, if you've been around for like any video that I've ever talked about joining a blanket ever, which is a lot of them since I do a lot of blankets, you'll know that that's my favorite. So even though it's my favorite, it does add just a little bit to the blanket because it adds a width between all the squares. So instead of sewing it and having them right against each other, there's going to be a little margin. So it'll still be slightly bigger than the one Mikey made. So, I mean, not that I'm against having a big blanket, but I also want it to be like washable and stuff and usable. And I don't want some monstrosity that I can't fit in the washer and dryer. Since it's acrylic that can be washed and dried and all that. So, because it's just your basic acrylic stuff. It's nothing fancy, guys. This was started way before I used any kind of like wool or fancier yarn and all that anyway. But yeah, this is nothing fancy. But yeah, so that's as far as I've gotten. So I have all of these. And I really, every time I start this now, all I want to do, like I really want to go out and just keep working on this is what I want to do. But I need to work on some other stuff so that I have something else to show off this week besides this now. Yeah, and I'm pretty lucky I got to work on this at all. I swear work is trying to kill me. I swear it is. But I will persevere. It's just going to get worse the warmer it gets outside too, I think. But we're in for another cold spell. Like, I don't know what the weather is going to be like this week for you guys, but we are in for another cold spell. The reason why this is WiP Weekend-ish is because it's still my weekend. I know that it's coming out technically on Monday, but my weekend is Sunday and Monday. So I'm like cheating and bending the rules a little bit. But so when you're seeing this, we're predicted to get 1 to 3 inches today of snow, the last that I heard. And then I think we have a couple of cold days, but it's going to be sunny. And I think by like Thursday or Friday and into Saturday, we're supposed to be getting more snow. So like Winter is not done with us yet. Not quite. If the weather stays true. Because, I mean, I know that they say this in other states also, but, like, it's Michigan, so, like, all you have to do is blink and it'll be a different weather, so. Anyway, so hopefully you guys like what I've got done and you like where I'm going with this project and you want to come back and check out where I end up with it and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I will get to working on more stuff so I can talk to you soon. All right, I will see you in the next video, which will be very soon. All right, I love you guys. Bye.